Live your best life. Welcome to the Power Podcast. Our mission is to share all things health, fitness, and wellness. I'm your host, Renee, and I want to empower you to become the best version of yourself. Today on the podcast, I have a very special guest, a female considered to be a New Zealand health and lifestyle icon, who has not only changed her own life, but helped inspire many others too, with her own journey to health. Joining me on the show to share some insight of the highs and lows of her journey is Simone Anderson. Hey Simone, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. So how are you today? How are you going? I mean, we're in lockdown at the moment. How are things going for you?
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a big honour as always. For me right now, I am trying to just go about my daily life as normally as possible, and that seems like quite a ridiculous statement, but there's a few things that obviously being at home on lockdown that are just making me feel like it's sort of a semi-what normal day, and that is still doing things like my exercise and my daily routines and my morning self-affirmations and just things that make me feel good. And this sort of routine and structure it's helping me get through, and I'm feeling relatively positive about a situation that is pretty scary, and I'm just honestly counting my blessings every day.
That's
even
awesome.
Massive change. I'm trying to focus on the positives at least.
I love that, and that's going to help so many people as well. Like if we all kind of bring our positive energy together, then hopefully it will rub off on other people, and other people start feeling like that as well, which is really important.
Absolutely, there's that ripple effect, isn't it?
Totally.
Someone else uplifting and inspiring in some way, then you sort of feel like, oh well, maybe I can do it too.
Absolutely, I agree. So I would just like you to give us a little introduction about yourself and about you and your journey. So when did you start your health and fitness journey? When was it that you decided I want to start making change?
It was 2014, and it was the 29th of August. I remember that day very, very vividly. So it's 6 years ago now.
Wow.
And I was 23 years old, and I was interning at a friend's jewellery factory.
Yep.
And we'd spent the morning. It was a very normal day, and everyone went on their lunch break. And during this lunch break, this was the moment where I thought, okay, I'm going to weigh myself on this big set of industrial scales. And the reason that it sort of was so in the forefront of my mind then is because I hadn't weighed myself for, I can't even remember, like years, and they were about to sell this set of scales. And every household set of scales had said error for as long as I could remember. And I thought, okay, well, if I can jump on these scales, at least I'll know what I weigh and be able to, I guess, face that fact. And everyone was on the lunch break, and I snuck downstairs and took off my shoes, because we all know shoes weigh a bit.
Absolutely. Take it all off.
And I jumped on the scales, and that is, for me, the moment where I knew I had to make a change. The number staring back at me was 169 kgs, and at 23, that was terrifying. I remember I was shaking, my legs felt like they were going to give way, I was instantly crying. And I went back to the office that afternoon. I guess I was sort of on autopilot. Like, I was just running through this afternoon, but all I was thinking of is, how am I going to do it? And how am I going to do it this time where it's going to be a change for the rest of my life and not just a bad diet?
Absolutely.
I mean, not every diet under the sun. You name it, I've done it. Sure, Slim, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. And that all worked. Like, I could stick to them, and I'd lose the weight, and then I'd start living again, and the weight would pile back on, and more, always. I'd always gain more weight.
Yeah.
So I was, contemplating this for about 4 days, and the idea that came to my head was every time that I had lost the most amount of weight and been the most successful is when I told the most amount of people. I'm someone that I'm very much rely on accountability. If I say I'm going to be somewhere, I will be there no matter what, whether I'm vomiting, whether I'm sick to death, I will make sure I show up and be there for whatever the reason may be. So I had this idea of sharing what I was going to do online to my friends and family, just through my personal Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And of course, this was petrifying, because it would mean admitting my weight and the fact that I had an issue to all my closest people in my whole life.
That's the hardest thing you could have done.
Oh, but it was, honestly, I felt embarrassed, I felt ashamed, I felt sick to post this. I took a photo in a bra and a pair of leggings, pretty much the only thing that fit me at the time, and I remember thinking, okay, I've got to do this. And I pressed post and went live on the fact that I didn't know how I was going to change my lifestyle. I just knew I had to.
Yeah.
And I shared that first image, and it sounds bizarre, but it truly was like this weight lifted off my shoulder, because I had to do this. I had no other option now, and there was no turning back. And yeah, it was that point onwards where I just started documenting little things that I do. I tried to go for an hour walk a day, and at that point I could barely walk, even up my own driveway, so that was a big deal for me.
And that's amazing that you managed to do that, even, like, good on you.
Yeah, and always
making
around flat surfaces,
yeah.
and, you know, like one tree hill, but never up the hill. And I would also swim, because that was really good on my joints and my weight. You know, like my weight actually didn't feel that heavy in the water.
Yeah.
And then I started slowly changing like the way I was eating, and switching, you know, like no sort of processed junky foods, and trying to make all my meals myself. And really back to basics, but not cutting anything out.
I love that.
I promise I would never ever do again was cut or eliminate a food group out. Because for me, personally, it's the diet.
It's music to my ears hearing that, because as soon as you start cutting out a whole food group, you start, I believe, you're not living your life. How can you live your life if you're not allowed to eat a piece of pizza because it's a carb? You know what I mean?
And also, the minute you say you can't have it, that's your body wants it.
You want it more.
What about is that chocolate bar, or that, you know, that whole block of biscuits, whatever it might
Absolutely.
be. So I just tried to find a really good balance with it all.
I love that.
It was probably 3 months into my journey, and I'd lost 20-something kgs, and food still controlled every element of my life. Yeah. I would be making breakfast thinking about morning tea. I'd stretch my stomach to like a 3-litre capacity, so I could eat and eat and eat, and I was never satisfied.
Yeah.
And this is when I started researching and talking to different people about what options were out there. And the option that I settled upon, that I thought, okay, if I get this done, I've got this, it was weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
Basically, the one I was looking into was gastric sleeve surgery, which is where they remove a large portion of your stomach. You still process foods completely normally, and just get fuller faster. And I thought, well, I'm exercising every day, I'm eating really well, and if I can get rid of that hunger, that just need to eat, I've got this in the bag. And I went and I booked in to see my GP and went through all the public ways you could go about it, and I wasn't accepted, so I booked in privately. And went straight to Auckland weight loss surgery. And I was talking to the surgeon, and he ran me through the option he thought would be best for me, and he agreed that it would definitely change my life.
That's awesome.
He said, "Do you want to go away and think about it?" I said, "No, I want to book in." He said, "Oh, well, my next free surgery date is in 3 weeks, which means you'd have to start on the pre-surgery diet today." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." And that was
good on you.
Down that journey, and it's really been from there. I've lost a total of 92 kgs, and obviously kept it off for 5 years now.
That is incredible. Congratulations, because it's so hard being on a health and fitness journey. I mean, like you said, the food is always the hardest part, and once you get that right, I feel like that's when everything starts really happening for you. And what was it, do you think, that made you never feel satisfied, and you were just never full, or what do you think that was?
I honestly just think it was how large my stomach was.
Yeah.
It was I could eat, and I'd stretched it so far past what a normal stomach capacity is, that I just never felt full, because you'd eat what would be considered a normal meal, then you'd eat that again, and you could still keep going. I mean, I could have 2 or 3 burgers at McDonald's, fries, a drink, and still be like, and what? It was no problem at all. And that taking that away meant I could eat a meal like all my friends and feel that sensation of full and feel satisfied, and then therefore because of that I would eat good food, knowing that I'd get full, and even if I felt like something bad afterwards, you were like, well, I'm full. I don't need it. And it was more that mental, just feeling that sensation of full was just game-changing for me, because I truly hadn't had it for nearly 10 years.
Yeah, because, that's amazing, because like I said, the food is everything. Once you've got the food right, then amazing things start happening with your transformation, and you feel more energized, you feel better mentally, emotionally, all of that. It makes, that's so cool. I'm so happy for you, and you've done so well with everything. And I really love that you are sharing your journey with women still to this day, because so many people, I mean, like, New Zealanders consider you a health icon. How does it feel that you have, helped so many other women and inspired them? How does it make you feel, knowing that you've come so far and helped other women?
It is a very, very bizarre feeling, even to this day, that simply by sharing what I have done has made a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think for me, my decision to talk and share weight loss surgery so openly and honestly from the get-go was something that really set me apart at the time without even realizing, because this was a subject and a topic that was quite taboo and it was sort of shamed upon. And I remember when I first started talking about it, the feedback that I got from it was, oh, you're taking the easy way out, you're cheating, do it yourself. And it's one of these things where I knew that this would make a massive difference in my life, and I hoped by sharing my experience with it, because I know I really struggled to find other people my own age that had gone through this and shared it, openly online. I heard about people that had it but had pretended they hadn't had it and all of these sort of things. And I really wanted to share my journey in the most open and honest way, and not just all the highlights, not the best parts of it, the downfalls as well, and the struggles and the low points along the way. And it has been just the craziest journey, and getting messages from people saying that, you're the reason why they've actually finally got the courage to go and book in for the surgery, or even not even women that are necessarily overweight, but they've started exercising for the first time in 30 years. It's those sort of things that as much as there's so much hatred and dislike online for so many different things, and you deal with a lot of grief being, so in the public eye, I wouldn't change it for a second for the messages that I get from women every single day that it's making a difference. So even if it doesn't resonate with everyone, there are people that it's making a difference for, and that's why I do what I do.
Oh, absolutely. Like I have a lot of clients that I train, a lot of women especially, and I've had a couple of women come to me and be like, I feel so motivated because they wanted to get the surgery as well. And I'm a very open person and very much supportive of them, but by them seeing you online with what you did, it really helped encourage them as well. So that's really awesome.
So lovely to hear.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so talking about the lows, what do you think was the lowest point in your journey? The beginning to the end, middle, wherever. What was the lowest part for you? And how did you overcome it?
I've had a few pretty massive lows during the journey. And actually, most of them have come from other people's opinions or views on you and on your life and how you're living it. So it's not necessarily that anything in my life is wrong as such, but it's people projecting sort of issues onto you. And I think the biggest thing I've learned along this journey, because I'm a people pleaser to a T, I want everyone to like me and I want to always do the right thing. That is just me. And I never want to hurt anyone, ever want to offend anyone. So I think the hardest thing that I've had to come to terms with is the fact that in life you cannot please everyone, and not everyone is going to like you, and that is actually okay. But that has been a massive self-growth journey on its own. That's coming to the point where I know through and through who I am and what I stand for, and I know what I stand for is good. And when you've got that cemented deep within you, nothing really rocks you. I can read the most nasty comments online now that, call me ugly, tell me I look like a transvestite, you name it, I get it daily. I get to the point where I can brush them off, because for me, I can see further past that, because I know that issue and that insecurity, that doesn't lie within me, that lies within the person writing that. And that makes me feel actually quite sad for that person, that's what they're choosing to spend their day, sitting in their home, being nasty to someone they don't know or have never met online. And I can feel quite secure in myself, knowing that I have never done that, I never will do that, and I know why I do what I do. I think another thing was when I first started was actually losing quite a few friendships which you thought were true friendships, and what you realise quite quickly is that they were surface level friendships, and they were there because it suited them and it was convenient for them. So the minute it turned outside of their comfort zone, they no longer were there to support you. And that's something I found really challenging too, because letting go of friendships that don't serve you is never easy, but it's definitely probably one of the best things that I ever did, and it was quite freeing. So there's definitely been a lot of challenges along the way, but those challenges make it so worth it, and you come out the other side and you are so much stronger because of it, and you really feel like nothing can rock you anymore, because you've gone through it all and you've been through some really shit times.
Oh, yeah.
Every shit time, you don't see it at the time. You look back on it, you think, okay, I did learn something from that, or that grew me in this way, and now I view this because of this, and it is just this constant evolution of you growing as a person.
Oh, I love that. You've given me goosebumps. Feels so good. No, it's amazing. It's amazing to hear, because your circle of influence really does impact everything you do in life, like from your health, your fitness, even running a business. Like you're going to have people in your ear saying all this negative stuff, and you have to try and overcome that. So that definitely does help you grow and makes you a stronger person, so that's awesome. What do you think has been the most rewarding and exciting part about your journey? I know you spoke a bit about like encouraging and helping other people, but for you yourself, what would that be?
Honestly, the best part of my journey through and through is the fact that I know that it has made some difference on other people's lives, and that simply by sharing what I do, it has benefited people in some way. There's been huge business growth opportunities for me. I have really excelled. It's turned into my whole career. I've got a book with number 2 book coming out. I've got my own podcast. About to start my own activewear line. I could go on and on, but those things are really the surface level things for me. I feel so thankful for them, but it's that joy of waking up and reading through my messages every single day and just seeing what a difference it has made. That is truly where my joy comes from, and I just feel so blessed that along the way I have met an amazing man who I'm about to call my husband, hopefully at some point when all of this
exactly. You're supposed to be married this month, weren't you? Like the weekend?
A couple of weekends ago.
Yeah.
Meant to tie the knot, but obviously due to COVID-19, it's something that was totally outside of our control.
Yeah.
So we don't know when or where or how, but it'll happen at some point.
Exactly.
And take it day by day.
Yeah, and I'm sure when it does happen, it'll be the most amazing date ever, regardless of when it does. Yeah. So that's exciting. You're getting married, was it at the hunting lodge?
Yes, correct. So it was going to be at the hunting lodge, and they've been pretty friggin' incredible. And I guess they sort of, they know it's outside of our control. They know that it's outside their control. Yeah. So we can't obviously lock in a new date or anything like that just because we just do not know. So we're just taking a day at a time, and when we sort of both feel like we're through the other side of this and it's all looking good, we can look at dates for maybe next year or maybe the year after.
Whenever. Yeah, awesome. And so your second book, what's that going to be about? Is that carrying on from the first book that you wrote?
No, it's actually not. It's my second book is a recipe book, which is very bizarre.
I've seen that.
From what I had written to a recipe book, but it's something that felt like a really natural progression for me. Obviously, over the past 6 years, food has been the thing that I've had to reteach myself, and reteach myself a love of just fresh, healthy, delicious food. Yeah. And what this book is about is I want it to be for your everyday man and woman at home who is cooking for a family or friends. You don't need to go to any specialty health food shop to buy one jar of something that costs $12 and use 1 tablespoon of
I know, right?
I want it to be everything that you can go to your local countdown for, budget-friendly meals for families, but still really yummy. An ingredient list that you can just see in one little section. They don't go on forever and ever, nothing too complicated, but really just food.
I love that.
There's pasta in there.
Yes.
There's salads. There's breakfast smoothies. Of course, there's a platter section because I bloody love the platters.
Oh, absolutely.
So it was meant to be released on April 14th. We're still releasing the ebook version on that date.
Awesome.
But because it's not obviously an essential service, it will not be able to be delivered until we're post-lockdown. So we'll just keep everyone updated on that as to how that can, what date we can actually get physical hard copy books, but it's still cool that we can release the ebook version.
Awesome. Oh, that's exciting. I'll have to look out for that. I'll definitely need a copy of that in my kitchen. Awesome. So that's so cool that you're writing a recipe book. What about the first book? We'll talk a little bit about that one now. For those who don't know, your first book was your journey to health. And that was inspired after you started sharing your journey on social media and thought that you wanted to dive deeper into it.
Yeah, basically my first book was an overview of everything that I'd been through from childhood right through to the point where I had lost all my weight and actually undergone my first skin removal surgery. The reason that I felt so compelled to write this first book is that I have been asked on a daily basis, where can I read your story from start to finish? And the only place I had to send people was back over my 5,500 Instagram and Facebook posts for them to sort of bit it all together and into YouTube videos and things like this. So I went back through my entire journey, transcribed YouTube videos and everything. So what I was feeling right at that point of time, and collated it into this book and what is my journey to health. I talk a lot about my childhood and what led to my weight gain. About abusive relationships that I have been in. I really lay it all out on these pages, including some of the most traumatic things I've ever been through in my entire life.
Wow.
Like going through a group rape situation. It's all in these pages, and for me, it was pretty hard actually writing it and talking about these things and bringing these memories back up. But it was, again, quite therapeutic too, because you put it down on paper and it gives you the power again to reclaim these situations.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it was something that was a massive achievement for me, and something that people are still reading to this day, which is really cool. I still get tagged in people sharing my book, my first book, all the time, and that's pretty massive. It was a #1 seller in New Zealand.
That's awesome.
Something I'm incredibly proud of, and yeah, can't wait to release book #2.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for being so open and sharing your journey, like especially things that happened to you in your past and your childhood, and things that you probably never would have thought you would even tell, like your best friend, and you've told the world. So thank you for being so open and honest and sharing everything with everyone, because it really does make such a huge impact. Let's talk a little bit about exercise. So at the moment, what does your current exercise routine look like? What are you doing in terms of training?
So I'm still training every single day from home, following the same workout routine I've been doing for nearly 2 years now, and that is just S45.
Love it.
So despite everything that's going on, what I loved about my gym and the instructors there is that they have adapted. Instantly, they started filming at-home workouts for everyone to do, the same format, what you'd usually do in studio, and giving you options for everything. So say it is a dumbbell, they'll tell you to pick up a can of paint. If there's just something, they've got school bags full of books for, medicine balls and things like this, things that you can do from home, and that is still what I'm doing. And then on the weekend, Trent and I are doing at home. We just type into YouTube boxing couples workouts, and we pick one that looks cool. We've been doing that together as well, and then we just walk medics in the evenings for 45 minutes. So it's still very, very normal for us in terms of workout and exercise, because it is something that it makes us feel good.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel that rush of adrenaline and get those good endorphins, and it does sets me up for a really good day. So it's the first thing I do every morning, and
love that. No one ever regrets a workout, even if you're feeling like shit beforehand. Once you've done it, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I pushed myself through that 30-minute, 40-minute session, and now I feel great.
Even if it was a half-ass push, you still feel better.
Exactly.
You just semi-done it. You're like, yes.
Yep. That's what I always say to all my clients as well, is that any movement is better than no movement at all, no matter how crap you're feeling. Even if you just get up and do 3 minutes on a bike, whatever gets you moving, you'll feel better for it no matter what. And that's the main thing. It's just any kind of movement. Even if it's just walking to your letterbox and back, like that's getting out of bed. That's something. And that's what's important. Okay, I have some random questions to ask you. What is your favorite healthy food and why? If you could pick one thing. I know it's a hard question.
It's really hard. Okay, I would say, I don't know if this, because it's sort of a snack meal, is those rice paper wraps shoved full of vegetables. You can add prawns and chicken dipped in a satay dipping sauce is my friends all know it, because every time they come over, that's what I choose to make for them.
Nice.
It's so healthy. You can use up random leftover veggies. It's cheap. People can make their own.
And they are so refreshing.
They are. They look like condoms, and when you just play with them, it takes a while to get used to them. But if you can get past the texture, that's so good.
They are. It's just the rolling that's the hard part. But
I know. Sometimes they end up just being a parcel that you just shove in your mouth.
Yeah.
And
you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat it anyway. Tastes good. Oh yes, I love it. What would be your favorite treat meal? Like your favorite. Well, I don't really like to call it like a treat meal because all food is equal. But what would you say would be your go-to like I don't know, not so healthy meal?
I was going to say the same as you, is that I really try and avoid, and it's hard obviously because we're taught in this society that
I know.
there are good foods and bad foods. For me it's food, and
yeah.
People ask me all the time, what do you eat as your, cheat meal? And I don't have a cheat meal anymore. It's just I'll eat it as a meal. But
I love that.
I guess the most probably unhealthy thing that I can smash back a lot of is just good old pizza.
Yum.
But we now make our own pizza base from home and do our own sauces and all our own toppings. And so
nice.
I feel a little less, I don't really think of it as, it's not too bad. I'm making it myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that analogy. Food is food, and we should always treat it like that. It shouldn't be, oh no, I ate chocolate, now I've got to go run around the block 10 times. It should be, yum, I ate chocolate, I feel good, and now I can carry on as normal because I know my next meal is going to be.
That.
Yeah.
And my next meal is going to be a really good, nutritious one.
Exactly.
Cool too.
Exactly. And that's the kind of message I really want to get out to women more, is that we should not feel guilty when we eat food, because food is food, no matter what it is, whether it's pizza, whether it's chocolate, whether it's a burger, as long as, you are having a well-balanced diet and you're exercising, it doesn't matter if you enjoy a little bit of chocolate or pizza here and there. It's life. You've got to live your life, right? All right, another random question I have is, what is your least favorite exercise and why?
Oh, okay. It would 100% be shits, very specific shoot throughs. So when you're on your hands and your knees and you lift your knees off the ground, and then you're twisting one leg under and you're rotating and one arm's on the ground. I have got very weak core strength, and this bastard of an exercise, it gets me every time. Every time. When I see it come up on the F45 screen, I'm like, not again today, not again. That'll be my least favourite exercise. And I really, and I always have been my whole life, a shit runner. Like, I mean shit. Mum used to have to run the cross country with me to even get me to do it. I can swim for miles, but running still to this day I hate it. So to go out for a run, I'll honestly have to pick like a tree and be like, run to that tree, and then I'll walk, and then I'll go, okay, run to that lamppost, and I'll run, and that's me running, it's pretty terrible.
It's not for everyone though, running. You either love it or you hate it. I think it's just one of those things.
I look at these gorgeous, long, lean girls going for beautiful, big run. They make it look so easy, and then there I am. It's like an elephant running down the street. I'm so big-footed. It's just not graceful.
Oh, well. You have the things that you're good at, and then you have the things that you just go, oh, I'll do that if I have to.
Totally.
And what would be your most favourite exercise?
Definitely swimming. Getting into the water for me has always been something that's been incredibly calming. I was a water baby. Mum had me in water from, the day I was born, in baths and then in swimming pools and in mummy-daughter classes. And there's something which lots of people I know hate, but really therapeutic about just counting laps. Like for me, I'll just go 1, 1, 1, 1, then I'm on 2, 2, 2, 2, and it just, every other thought disappears, every stress and worry that you've got going on in your life is gone. Like when I jump into the water, I can have 1,000 things on my to-do list. I'll be overthinking everything, and when I come out, my head is clear.
Oh, I love that.
Half things that were big stresses before I dove into that water have just gone, and you can really see them clearly for what they are, and you can then think logically about what order you're going to do things in, and you feel, for me, it's just this, it clears all the crap out, and I can just get up and focus on what is actually important. So definitely the water, it's very soothing.
I love that. It's so important that you find something with an exercise that you really enjoy and that gives you that effect. Like for me, it's strength training. I love lifting heavy weights, and I feel like after I've done a really good heavy session, I feel so clear-headed and I feel so good, and that must be like with you with swimming, and I'm sure other people will find other things that make them feel like that, like boxing or dancing or just whatever gets your body moving and gets you feeling good, right? It's really important.
Oh, absolutely. Like I love my F45, and I love that high intensity, and it gives me this thrill. And then my best friend, she loves yoga, and she can't think of anything worse than sweating it out. But I try a yoga class, and it is hard work.
It is really hard.
Easy.
Yeah, it is.
I just think you've got to find what works for you and your body.
You do, totally, 100%. And that's the main thing, because if you're doing stuff that you really don't enjoy, then you're most likely not going to stick to it. and then you're just going to go back to square one again, I guess. So,
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Now, if there was one thing that you could kind of tell our listeners to remember and to think of when they're having a sheer moment of doubt or they want to give up, what would that be?
For me, I think the most important thing that I've always tried to remind myself of is that I am enough, and that I've always been enough, that you don't need to try and be something that society's telling us to be, or that your friend or that your mum or that your grandma thinks you should be. You are enough as you are, and there's so much power that lies within that. When you find that self-love and that self-worth, there is nothing more powerful than that, and it's not something that you know, most people just wake up with and just have. It's a constant work in progress. So make yourself your number one priority, because when you do that, everything else slots into place, and you can help everyone else so much better when you feel that love yourself. I practice self-affirmation every single morning, and these set me up for the best day. And when I first started doing this, it felt ridiculous. Like, I was repeating these things to myself that I didn't believe, and I thought, what a load of, absolute bullshit this is. But day by day, month by month, I don't know, there was no actual moment, but there's just these statements started resonating, and I thought, I do actually believe that, and that is true. And it's that sense of empowerment. It will push you so much further. As you know, any journey, making sure it's from a place of love, because if you're coming from it from any sort of self-loathe or hatred, you're going to get there and you're going to feel those exact same feelings, whether you're a size 26 or a size 6. It won't matter. And I think that's the most important thing, is just to work on yourself mentally from day one, and really start it from a place of love.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. You gave me goosebumps again. It's just so awesome. No, it's just so awesome listening to you, because, you're so empowering and so inspiring, and that's why I really, really wanted to have you on the show, is because I knew that you would be just so much value to the listeners, and just by them hearing your story and what you had to say is going to inspire so many people, as you already are doing on the daily. So thank you so, so much. Thanks for listening to the Power Podcast. I hope you can take something valuable away to implement in your own life. Be sure to tune in to our next episode soon. And if you need further help, check out ptwithrenee.com. You'll find loads more information on nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle tips. Live your best life, and we'll chat soon.